Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to just pop on today and say hello because if you follow my channel, you'll know that for the past week, all I shared was 3 of the flip throughs of the Marry Me's small art ephemera books that I had recently purchased. I got the Halloween spooky personas and 2, one for winter, one for Christmas. And as well, if you follow my channel, you'll know that I am in Ontario now for an extended visit, 3, possibly 4 months. My husband found a short-term apartment rental, which we are in. It is a basement apartment. There's nothing on the walls. I'm trying to do this video just to say hello, tell everybody I made it safe. It was the best drive I've had so far since I moved to New Brunswick. I've traveled back and forth from New Brunswick to Ontario multiple times. This time was by far the very best trip. Everything went so smoothly. I'm just so blessed that things were that great. So I want to journal a little bit about my trip. I'm going to do that just in my small journal. I'm just going to make a few notes just as a reminder of how the trip went and why I came this time. I don't usually come here in the fall, but yeah, so I'll talk about that while I'm doing this. So I'm going to journal in this small journal. It's a sketch pad, but it makes a great journal and it makes a great collage book as well. And I don't think I shared this at all, but I kind of decorated the cover. The cover was the same as the back. It was just this craft paper. I put a piece of scrapbooking paper on here that has these, it has some letters showing in the background. It has some travel pictures, some old family photographs. This part of a stopwatch is on here. Then on top of that, I collaged this beautiful flower. I added a couple of gemstones. This little metal piece that was in a set from Dollar Tree, I think, a long time ago. I added the Tim Holtz statement here, and this is the chipboard phrases, and it says live in the moment, and I thought that was really appropriate for this cover because this says moments, this got the clock, it's got the letters, it's got the old photographs. It's just little moments in time. So I thought live in the moment was perfect for this. And this serves a double purpose. I just glued a nice long piece of ribbon onto the back here. I left it hanging, and I can just wrap that around there to keep this little journal closed when I'm not using it. I thought that was a perfect little closure. So I'm ready to do another page. So I will journal on this page. So my journaling, as I flip through, my journaling will correspond with whatever I was feeling when I did this page. And this time, because I now have craft supplies in a big tote and a couple of small boxes, I still have some unpacking to do, a lot of stuff to do. This is a partially furnished basement apartment. It has a sofa and a love seat in the living room. It's got a nice table and chairs in the dining room. Of course, all of the appliances are here. That's fabulous. And there's a bed. We had to bring everything else. And because I'm not moving here, we don't have furniture. So we have had so many offers from friends and family to help us out with that it is just amazing. I don't think that we have to buy anything. All we have to do is drive around and pick stuff up on the weekend and kind of bring it back and finish getting settled in. But I wanted to share my trip with you all, let you know that I'd made it safe. And oh my gosh, guys. So if you ever want to do a driving trip in Canada, this past few days was the perfect time to be driving. The leaves here are absolutely stunning. So I'm using a half-page background from the Autumn Stories and Backgrounds. So this was just, I tore it a little bit there when I was cutting it, but that's okay. I'm going to use it anyway. I just glued it down. And before I put my little image on here, I'm just going to go around the edge of this. I didn't bring a whole lot of supplies I brought just what I thought I could use. And there's a lot of things that I'm not going to be able to do, but journaling, planning, and doing little bits of small art is definitely still going to be on the table. So I've got that really dark there. I'm going to make it dark here. It'll get lighter as I go. So this is the Vintage Photo Distress ink. I can even, because I have this little brush, I can even get in those coils. And there. So I don't need this anymore. I just needed this for the overflow that was going to happen. I just wanted to have like an inked border going around. So yeah, the leaves were the best I have ever seen. And I've lived in Canada my whole life, but the leaves this year, just stunning. There were a couple of times in Quebec when I came over a hill. You'd come over a hill and there would be a huge valley type of scene in front of you. It was all forest, but it was such a huge valley that you'd be looking at the tops of the trees. I mean, of course, you're driving through the Appalachian Mountains, the very northern end of that mountain range when you're going through there. Oh, guys, yeah, you would crest a hill and this scene would be before you that would just take your breath away. It was so, so pretty. So I'm going to put this on here. I think I'm going to put her up fairly high. No, I'm going to put her down here. But I want her wings to go over this piece that I put on, but not over the edge of my journal. So I'm just adding her on top. I want this to be simple, guys. Like I said, half my stuff is in boxes, and I just wanted to do a share. So back to my story. You would come over a hill, you would see this stunning display of the treetops in the valley below you. And what you would actually get would be the look of a grassy valley in the summertime or in the spring when it's right full of wildflowers. And you get that dotted yellows and blues and the orangey red little flowers that you get. We get that a lot here. I don't even know what they're all called. But yeah, the springtime grassy valleys are so, so pretty. Well, that was the effect that all these treetops were giving me. There was so much yellow, orange, red that it would look like a field of wildflowers. So I wanted to do this page. Now she is holding this, but she's not, that's not going to show on that background very, very well. So what I thought I would do is I've got this chalk paint. And I don't want to use very much, but that's going to go there. And I kind of want just to soften up this area right here. I just want it lighter. Well, anyway, my trip, it went fabulous. I got away at a really good time. I ended up getting to my halfway mark to my motel that I was staying at just at dinner time. I managed my trip so I didn't have to do any driving in the dark this year. So I saw everything. A lot of times because of the times I have to get away and stuff, I end up driving in the dark, and it's frustrating. I don't like nighttime driving anyway, so I was really happy about that everything turned out so perfectly. I arrived at my destination just after lunch on day 2. I didn't run into any traffic. There was hardly any construction. I could not have asked for a better trip. I have no idea how I got so lucky. Like, I really don't know how I got so lucky. So because I have that light in there, I'm going to add just a little bit down in here as well. I need a little water on my situation here. This chalk paint is drying too fast. Yes, I'm just working away, adding a little bit of light to this. And I'm rubbing it long enough that I can't see my circles and fingerprints when I'm doing it. So I just wanted to lighten that background up because this leaf is on here, but I want the leaf to show that I'm adding, which is this maple leaf right here. So that's exactly what I thought anyway when I was driving, that all of these valleys of trees looked like valleys of flowers, wildflowers. And then I started to unpack a little bit of my tote when I got here. I got here yesterday afternoon and I found this quote, and it says, "Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower." And I thought how stinking appropriate that was after the trip that I had just had. Then I found this little fairy girl in the Autumn Stories, and she was actually holding this maple leaf. Canada, right? The maple leaf. She was holding it like a flower, and I mean, it was kismet. This just had to be. So I couldn't cut the stem of this leaf out because it was just a little black line. So that's exactly what I decided I was going to do there. I'm just going to carry that down through. So that it's matching. And that's perfect. And I'm not going to do hardly anything else to this page. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'd arrived safely. I had had a few questions. People, getting a hold of me, messaging me, wanting to know if I'd left, if I was on my way, if I'd arrived. So I thank everybody so, so much for your concern. I don't think I'm going to do a whole bunch of breaking up of this statement here. I'm just going to put it at the top in 2 sections. All I'm doing for this is using a glue stick. This is the glue stick, the super glue stick that I picked up at Dollarama. Now, it doesn't give you much time to move stuff around on the page, so you got to kind of get it down straight when you're putting it down. It's not like the re-stick, the repositionable Elmer's glue that I use. But it holds quite well, and it'll work perfect for these journals. There, just perfect. I love it. I'm going to journal in here, and this will make a perfect picture to go with the little anecdote, because that's what I want to share in my journal. I just want to share how beautiful the leaves were on my trip and how it reminded me of a valley in the springtime full of wildflowers. That's where this idea came from. So if you get a chance to take a nice day-long, just a day trip, just to go look at the leaves, I suggest you do it now, because I'm pretty sure that what I saw is kind of at the tail end. I don't think there'll be many days left this coming weekend. Probably the last chance to get out and see it in its absolute glory. I know they'll stick around for a little bit, but once the wind picks up for the fall, it doesn't take long for the trees to lose their leaves, and it'll be all done. So I always initial on all of my little work that I'm keeping on my journal pages and things like that. And then I will put the date. So this is October the 2nd, 2025. So that way when I'm going back through my books, I know when I did it. And then the journal page, of course, being opposite, will let me know where I was and why I did this. So I hope you enjoyed this little share. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know, do you just do your artwork in your art journal, or do you actually journal in it as well? A lot of people don't actually journal in their journal, and I can't figure out why. So if all you're doing is art, just let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would absolutely love if you did that before you left. Come on back, see what I'm up to next. I'll see everyone in the next one. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a really wonderful day.